I'm Manuel Hernandez and welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're all doing well through these unusual and unprecedented times really. It's felt like a while since I've kind of been able to sit down and talk to the camera and make a video on Norwich City Central. And of course there's bigger things going on in the world at the moment than football. I hope you're all doing safe, I hope you're all doing well. And of course, in this video, going to be talking about how I think the Premier League season will end, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts down below. Of course, there's bigger things, as I said at the start of the video, than football, but football remains an important part of our lives. You know, there could be some people who might be isolated all week, particularly older people, and football's a great chance to almost escape that. Football's a fantastic way to escape perhaps some issues you might have in your life, and it's just a great way to meet friends and create some amazing memories. But how will the Premier League season end? I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on it down below in the comment section. And if you are new to Norwich City Central, please subscribe. As I said at the start of the video, we are in quite unusual times and different countries have been sorting out football in different ways. For example, and I get the caption up now on screen, the Netherlands, the top tier football in Netherlands has been abandoned for the season with no title or teams getting relegated. Ajax led the table on goal difference with 9 games to go, but will not be named champions. Both Ajax and the other team who are on 11 on points with them will go into the Champions League qualifying stages. And most interestingly, as we said, no sides in Holland will be relegated or promoted, meaning Canberra, I think that is, who topped the second tier and held an 11-point gap between themselves and the playoff positions, will not go up. So Holland have dealt with it certainly very different, and it will be interesting whether to see England implement that as well. Of course, Liverpool are 25 points clear. They're going to win the Premier League. It seemed really unfair for Liverpool not to win the Premier League, regardless on whether you love or hate Liverpool. But yeah, interestingly, no teams would be getting relegated from Holland. Does that mean Norwich City would stay up? That's what would happen if it was in Holland. Interestingly, though, in Germany, in the Bundesliga, they do want to continue the season. And I think they're planning in a few weeks to possibly resume the season. Sadly, of course, due to social distancing, all games would be played behind closed doors, and government officials here in England have said that social distancing would probably go on for the most of the year, which would, under those circumstances, would probably mean you're not going to be at Carrow Road again all year, which is a real shame. But of course, there are greater things going on. Also in England, I think all the leagues up to the National League have been suspended as well. So there'll be no promotions or relegations there. So it's really interesting to see what will happen in the Premier League. So in Spain, Italy, France, and of course England, in the top leagues, they've not decided what will happen yet. Will there be relegations? Will there be promotions? Quite frankly, who knows at the moment? Although in my opinion, I think the decision is going to be dominated by money, of course. And we've seen that so much. The Premier League now is all dominated by money, all dominated by finances. And if the cost of next season is greater than the cost of restarting this season, then I think they might void the season. It all depends what cost is greater. I think they're going to try and possibly finish the season. But if that goes into next season and it impacts the cost of next season, then I do think that they might void this season. But of course, this virus will have a much serious impact in the lower leagues. I know Stuart Webber was saying in a recent interview on the Pink, and I'd recommend you go and check that out. In one of his places he used to live when he was younger in Wales, the team there has folded. It was a small team, and they folded just because of the revenue. And it's really sad because a lot of football clubs are going to fold. A lot of people have been going to their football clubs for decades, and now for that to fold is going to be a real shame. And yeah, particularly the virus is going to impact the lower league teams. Why? Because a lot of the lower league teams rely on people coming through the doors. That's how they make their money, through selling the tickets, through people buying burgers and all sorts of things in the stadium. With the bigger teams, it's not so. The gate receipts is almost like pocket money, pocket change, quite literally, because the likes of Manchester City, Man United make all their money through merchandise. But for the lower league teams, League One, League Two, and of course all the way down the conference, they rely on people coming through the doors, and that's not going to happen. So you do have to worry that it's not just in football as well, but for all sports teams, the virus is going to have a serious impact on revenue, and clubs could struggle to stay afloat. So how do you finish the season? It's an impossible job. It's going to be a minefield. There's pros and cons to so many arguments, but you've got to accept that with social distancing, a lot of the games are going to be played behind closed doors. And of course, it's going to be a real shame, as I spoke about earlier, how the lower league clubs could potentially struggle to survive. You might see some could go into administration, which is going to be a real shame. But how do you finish the Premier League season? There's going to be some big decisions made by people at the top, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they solve it. Do you give Liverpool the title? Surely they're 25 points clear. And of course, promotions as well. All the teams in the Championship have worked so hard to get towards the top. The likes of Leeds, West Brom, Brentford. Do Leeds not get promoted now? Because Leeds are obviously top of the Championship, but if you have to cancel the season, then surely you can't promote Leeds. It would be unfair on all the chasing teams like Brentford, who could potentially overtake them. So yes, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts down in the comment section, or alternatively contact me on the socials, which I will leave in the description. How do you finish the Premier League season? What is the fairest way to do it? Thank you for watching this video. There's going to be more content coming out on Norwich City Central, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the news as well. But most importantly, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you later.